Hello everyone, it's Jessica here with another layout for the Therm web design team. So today I've decided to pull out my Fuse laminating system along with some toner sheets and some dies that I just got in the mail. So these are some Lawn Fawn dies. I'm just cutting my toner sheet down in half, and then I'm pulling out the shades of orange color harmony foils and my manual die cutting machine. So I'm just going to run these through my die cutting machine using my magnetic platform and my magic mat, and I do use a shim in mine as well on top of my clear plate just for some added pressure, because if I don't use that with that magic mat, it's a little bit thinner. So you'll see me put that shim in right here, and that's all that is. So my setup may look a little different than yours with your machine, but I'm just using the regular toner sheets today. These are not the peel and stick ones, they're just the regular ones. So I'm just cutting out all of these little die cut little leaves by Lawn Fawn, and I've chosen 3 different ones, and then I'm also cutting the little pieces that coordinate with the dies as well, like the smaller leaves and acorns and those little vines as well. So I'm just going to cut several of these out of just one toner sheet. I'm not using several, I just cut the one in half, and I just cut what I had room on those two half sheets there, and that's all I did. So I'm gonna try to use up all these on this layout today. I've got my Fuse laminating system heating up right now as I'm just finishing up my die cutting, and I've grabbed a background paper that's already pre-made mixed media from one of my older hip kits, and then I'm just going to start assembling this. So I've got my little leaves here. I've got them all cut out at this point, so I'm going to grab a craft and carrier sheet, and I'm going to actually cut this down so it's going to fit inside my Fuse laminating system. So I cut it down to about 6.5 inches, and you want to make sure that you cut it so that it's lengthwise and you're inserting it on the folded edge. So I'm going to grab some of these some of these color harmony foil sheets, and I'm actually just going to lay them on here and see how many I can get on one sheet. So that one didn't cut perfectly, but you know what? I'm not worried about it because it's going to overlap and tuck underneath another one. So I'm just going to leave it. So I'm just arranging these on here using the different shades that come in this shades of orange color harmony pack, and I'm just going to run these through. Notice I am holding on to that end because I have all those loose small pieces inside there, and I didn't want them to shift around. So I just held the tail end so that they didn't shift down while it was running through there. Everything turned out perfect. It's all foiled now. You can see they're shiny and gorgeous. I'm just going to continue this process with the other colors in this color harmony foil pack. So I've got another shade of this. This is like a watercolor shade that I'm using from the pack. That's probably my favorite in the shades of orange because it's just so pretty and it has that dimensional look. So they kind of look like crunchy fall leaves, which is what I was going for on this layout. And then I'm just going to continue using the other shades as well. I think I only used 3 of the shades out of 4. These color harmony foil packs are nice if you want to stock up on colors but don't have a ton of money or don't want to buy a ton of the individual tubes, because these come in 4 different shades and you get a pack of 20. So you get quite a few sheets of each one in each pack, but you get 4 different colors. So it's a really good bang for your buck. I'm just going to cut this one down. You should cut them down before you run them through. I was pretty much using most of the sheet, so I didn't bother cutting most of these, but this one, I'm only going to do this one leaf. So I did end up cutting that down, and I'm trying to make the most of it by popping all of these other little ones inside the middle of it. So I'm just going to finish up running this one through. I think this is my last one. The photo that I'm using today, I've already matted with some smooth white cardstock, but it's a photo of myself and my baby girl from one of our camping adventures, and we're actually sitting around the campfire in this picture right beside our camper, and it was very end of August, so just like the start of the leaves changing and everything around here, so I thought this would be nice for a nice fall themed layout. I'm grabbing some Simple Stories goodies from the, I believe, the Harvest Market collection, and I'm just tracing around this leaf for a template so that I can actually back this little leaf kind of like a cut file. So I'm just tracing around it and then cutting on the inside of my lines that I traced so that I don't have anything hanging out around the outside of the leaf. And then once I get this cut out, I'm going to grab some of my Ultrabond liquid adhesive and glue this down to the backside of that leaf foiled piece there. So you can see that I've grabbed my Ultrabond glue. If it clogs up, sometimes when I first get mine out, the tip is clogged. I just take a corsage pin and just poke down through the top and it unclogs. So I've got that all glued. I'm just going to place this down and glue those layers together. And I'm just going to flip it over and press lightly on that so I can make sure all of those edges are nice and glued. So there is my finished leaf. That's pretty much all I'm going to do with this one. And then I'm just going to continue on doing the same thing with the second one. So I was trying to choose between a couple different patterns. I had some from a Hip Kit Club laying here that would have worked well, but I decided to stick with some papers from this Simple Stories collection. So here's my second one just going together now, and then those are the only two that I'm actually going to back. So the other ones, I'm just going to leave how they are in their foiled goodness and just use them as embellishments for this layout. I've got my photo here. I'm just using scraps that are laying here on my desk from different collections, mostly from that Simple Stories line. So I'm just pulling out literally scraps and bits that I had saved from leftover layouts and die cutting different leaves. And I'm just trimming them as I go, roughing them up on the edges with my fingernails. Nothing too perfect. I wanted this to kind of have a distressed look and just look like it had some layers behind it with different colors. So super simple and easy. And then my background is already done for me. It's got that lovely mixed media feel. So really, I just have to finish embellishing at this point. I'm just going to arrange all of my little die cut foiled leaves all over my page. I'm overlapping them. I'm going to tuck some in behind my photo and around my photo just to enhance the photo. I want that photo to be my main focus as always. So I'm just going to embellish to enhance, not to overpower it. I was deciding on using this dark purple background. I really, really love it, but my foiled leaves weren't showing up very well on it. So I decided to stick with my original plan and just go with this white background instead. So I've got my title here that I want to use. It just says autumn, but I'm going to actually grab some other letters to go with it and make it say autumn campfires because that's exactly what we're experiencing in this photo. So I love that big title there. It's a foam title, so it just went perfect with this. I'm just going to start gluing down all of my little leaves here because this is pretty much where I want them to go. Just using my Ultra Bond liquid adhesive for some of the smaller bits that you'll see me glue down here in a minute. And for the bigger pieces, I'm using my Memory XL tape runner. It's one of my favorite tape runners, super easy to refill. I absolutely love it. I love the way that it fits in my hand and it glides on so smooth, and it's just easy to grab and go as well. I usually take that one with me when I'm doing like a day crop or a card making class or anything like that because it's just so easy to just grab and go. So I am fiddling with my title here, seeing where I wanted to place it, and I'm not quite sure at this point. I thought I was going to put it at the top, but I guess I'm probably going to move that to the bottom here in a minute. But I have my photo here. I'm just adding some of the jumbo tape roll to the back side of my photo just to pop that up off of the page and off of those leaves, and then I'm going to settle my title right there at the bottom. So I'm going to grab those other alphas here. This is from one of the older Hip Kit Club kits that I have, I think from last year. And they're just kind of some basic gray letters. So I thought they would look pretty just in a different shade and just add a little bit different to my title with the other font. So I was actually going to put Autumn Memories. That's why I put that M there at first. Then I thought, you know what, I'm going to do Autumn Campfires instead because that seems more appropriate for this. So I've got those letters there. From here on out, I'm just going to add little bits and pieces from my collections that I have here. I'm doing kind of a little bit of stash busting. I'm going to throw on some Flair from Scrappin Happy Studio. Here's some Hip Kit embellishments coming in. I have about, I think, four different kits laying here, plus my bin of just miscellaneous fall supplies. So I'm adding so many little bits and pieces, but I'm just going to continue embellishing. The Flair I'm going to pop on there in a moment. I'm just going to add on using some of the medium size glue dots, and I like to create a glue dot sandwich with those, which is one glue dot on the back of the Flair and then some thread twiddled in behind it, and then another glue dot to adhere to the page. So you'll see that here in a moment when I grab those. For now, I'm just popping up some of these using some of the Gina K foam squares, and I am just putting some with some dimensional foam squares and just adhering some directly to my page. I'm also going to lift up or rough up the edges of the flowers that I pop on here and give those a bit of dimension. But from here on out, it's pretty easy. I'm just adding a whole bunch of stuff to this and kind of whatever I can find that I think looks nice or goes well with this page and this theme. So I'm going to pop some music in here while I finish this one up. But as usual, if you guys have any questions for me, list them down below in the comments and I will do my best to answer you. So I will stop in here at the end and show you the finished layout. hope you all enjoyed this process video today. Here is the finished layout. I just love how this one turned out. I will link everything that I've used down below in the comments, so in case you want anything, you can grab it easily from the shops from the links. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.